Hi everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. Let's see, I wanted to give an update on masks and where I am with masks. I know that the CEO of Cricut has started a 2 million mask campaign. I think they're more than halfway there. And I wanted to show you what I'm doing. I'm not, because I'm experienced sewer, I am not cutting mine with it's just easier for me to cut them by hand, but I still think it's a great thing if you have Cricut to do a mask on the Cricut, especially if you don't have pinking shears or you're not really steady with your hands with cutting. And I wanted to show you how my mask works. There are other masks and they're very good. Everyone has their own little spin on it. When I developed this mask, let me get you one that's complete. When I developed this mask, I was thinking that people would put the filter in here. Originally, when I developed it, I was thinking it was for medical, but now most people in the public are using them. I think in some states required. And if you are watching this and you're from Massachusetts, Peabody especially, if you have any sewing skills at all, contact me by email or through DM. Even if you don't have if you don't have access to a sewing machine, if you have supplies, this is something that I use. This is 3/8 of an inch. This came from my friend Jean. This is what I use for the masks. I also use for the masks these backing. It's called snuggle flannel. It's very soft against the skin. I'm making the masks with longer ear flaps because I was making them too short. And so if you did get a mask from me earlier and it's too tight, contact me. I had 2 people contact me already. They can be stretched a little bit, but I think the longer ear flaps are better. If you have access to any of these materials and you live in my area, Peabody, I could certainly use it. Or if you're a sewer and want to help, I could certainly use that help too. Let me just show you what I do to put them together. First, like I said, there's 2 kinds of fabric. This is the snuggle fabric, and then there's the outside fabric. So I cut out those pieces. Let me show you. And yes, I'm using all of the fabric that I had collected over the years, including Cricut fabric. So this is the main piece, and then I cut out 2 pieces of the snuggle fabric, which I sew on the edges. Then, let's move all this out of the way. Sorry. Okay, so I take this piece that I've cut out, and it's approximately it's 9.5 by 7.5 inches. Okay, so there's that. And then the 2 small pieces of snuggle fabric, when I cut it, it's this size. I'm trying to remember what it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. 5.5 by 6.5 or thereabouts. But basically I cut 2 of them and I sew this seam here because that's where that is going to overlap. And you could put, good morning, Jolene. Hi, Paula. And hello, hi, Sandy. So I cut out these 2 pieces of fabric, snuggle fabric. And this is just a thick cotton, a cotton blend or cotton 100%, and then I'm going to sew the right sides together. So this is the right side of this fabric and this is the right side of this fabric. You see, I'm going to sew them together right here and right here. Okay, then I open it up like this. It's sewn, right? I open it up like this, and then I iron it so that it stays shut. Let me show you what that looks like. So This is the right sides together, you see, sewn here, this edge and this edge sewn together, and then ironed out, turned around like this, also pressed, okay? Then you are halfway done at this point. You flip it over and you add 2 darts, or you can do 3, but I just do 2. You add 2 darts to the front, and you're only pulling the front piece. This is, I think, the most difficult part until you get used to it. And I pin those like this, okay? So pin those 2 darts. And then you're going to sew. So here is one that's pinned, and I'm going to sew just at like a 1/4 or maybe 1/2 inch on this side. Once I sew those 2 sides, then let's find the next step. Then I can fold it up and sew and catch the back. You see? Hi Shannon. Hi Jolene. I can sew and catch the back, okay? So that's what creates that pocket, all right? So again, it's right sides together, press, turn it over, put the darts in, sew here, just a 1/4 inch. Flip it over, take out your pins, flip it over. Once you have that 1/4 seam, you fold on where you sewed and then an additional 1/4 seam. All right, you might have to put a pin in there before you go to your machine, okay? So you do that on both sides. Take out my pins because I've sewn that 1/4 inch and then another 1/4 inch, okay? You're gonna do a better job because you're not doing it on video, but just so you can see. So basically you're creating the mask at this point, and then you just have to sew here, okay? Then you are essentially done except for the ear flaps. So here is like a done, here are a bunch of done except for the ear flaps. There's a lot of you know, just taking off all of the threads and what have you. That's fine, you can do that. So the ear flaps are basically 2 pieces of this sort of elastic. It doesn't have to be white. It comes in natural, comes in black. This is, I like this size. It's 3/8 of an inch or 9 millimeters. It's a grosgrain. And I got this, again, I got this from a friend who was making them. And what I found out was it was best to cut the flaps slightly longer than you think. I was trying to conserve. I was making them too short and it was causing too much restriction on the face. So this is, let's see, about 8 or 8.5 or 9 inches, probably a little bit longer. I think 7 would work, but then you also want to sew each side like this and reinforce those, okay? Because you got to think it's going to be a lot pulling on that. And then you have to allow for people to be able to wash it, and there might be some shrinkage, usually not that much with elastic. Hey, Sora's and Phoebe, Ava, thank you for coming today. So that is how you make these masks. Now, some people who are wearing these on a regular basis need these things. I haven't gotten to them yet, but they're like headbands that have buttons on it. I think I'll probably, once I get this done, but for these are not nurse N95 masks, okay? And I know a lot of people were concerned about that a while ago. But they're not. But what these are for people who are essential, but they're not like working directly with COVID patients. Like for instance, when I went to the hospital this week, I went wearing one of these and they gave me one to wear once I was there. So this is for, you know, everyday use. I anticipate that a lot of people, now that they're requiring it in my state, are going to need these and can't seem to find them. So that's why I wanted to kind of bump this up a little bit and get more people out to have these. So that's really all. If you are, hi Robin, hi Cindy, if you are local to me and you're in Peabody, say, and you have any of these supplies, which includes cotton, snuggle, flannel, or this 3/8 inch elastic or thread, okay, white thread, black thread, any of those 4 things, contact me by messenger or email missrita@gmail.com. And if you are in need of masks and you're local to me, contact me. You have to send me a DM, like a message through Messenger, because I can't keep track of them on the posts, because I put my posts a lot of different places, and having to go back and read them all, it's just too hard. I can mail them, but to be honest, the doctors said don't go out because I'm immune compromised. So the doctor said stay home. So it's better if you can pop by my house. I have a box, and I'll let you know when I have them, and I'll have a box outside of my door, and I'll put it outside of my door, which is what I've been doing. That's been working out pretty good. A little box outside of my door, and I am not charging for these. If you want to, some people have, asked if they could make a donation. That's fine. And I have been very appreciative of the people that have given me, Brian, Michael, Elaine, and a number of other of my neighbors, and people have given me money to buy supplies. And I am going to, now that I'm done with my treatment for a couple weeks, I'll be focusing on this primarily, and my other stuff, my other Cricut stuff. But so I'm in it for the long haul, and any extra, either supplies or donations for supplies is certainly welcome. So thank you so much for the very generous offers that I've been getting. I appreciate it. I hope you can, even if you're a basic sewer, but if you have access to a sewing machine, I hope that this helps you. If not, look for other ways you can help, whether it's looking through your supplies, your craft hoard. Some people also, have a lot of buttons. Those buttons would be good for the ear things. Also, some people have come up with ideas to extend these with like a thing from their Cricut. That's also a cool thing, I think. But so just kind of want to encourage you all that this is still very much needed, especially now that there's a little bit of talk of like opening or loosening, I would say. I don't want to say opening, but loosening. It's my pleasure, Joyce. But loosening some of the restraints. But, here in Massachusetts, people are getting angry at each other because some people are not following the rules. Part of that, I think, is that not everybody understands the rules, because when they say in a public place, I think they were talking mostly about buildings, but people outside walking, there goes the dogs. People outside walking they're thinking that it's okay to not wear a mask. I don't know. I wear mine. Sorry, the dog. Sorry about the dog. I wear mine all the time whenever I'm out, only because I am immunocompromised, and not just that I don't want to catch anything, but if I've been in the house now, I think it's 40 days. I don't think I have COVID, but I have also been in a couple of, for my treatments and stuff, I've been in the hospital several times. So, I never want to have that opportunity where I might infect somebody else. And so we're being extra cautious. And what's the big deal? It's really not a big deal, especially if you can get your hands on a really pretty mask. If you're a woman, and if you're a guy, I'm trying to find some guy stuff too to make. And I've dug deep into my fabric pile. So ear savers, you're crocheting them. That's a good idea, Andrea. That's a great idea. So I'll come back later on. I just wanted to give you the update on the masks, but I know I have some giveaways to announce for my April giveaways, and also my I have to pick a winner for the Instagram Raspberry Cutie. So now's your last chance to follow me on Instagram at Miss Rita to the Rescue. And you can share, if you didn't see my video yesterday, you can share the video yesterday about how we made it to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube this weekend. Are they expensive, Andrea? People are charging for these? Wow. Okay. Oh, you mean like the pre-made ones? Yeah, maybe. I don't understand why sewing people, crafters in general are very giving people, and I personally just can't charge money for my stuff because it's definitely a labor of love, and you never get the money back, you know. You never get the money that you put in if you count your time and everything. So I've never done any crafts really with the intent, well, except maybe soap making, but with the intent of making money and becoming rich and famous or something from it. It's just a labor of love. It's what I do. And handmade too, huh, Andrea? That's too bad. That's too bad. Yay, Robin, I know, 5,000 on YouTube. And I had in my head a little goal by my birthday that I would be 5,000. And this past week was my birthday week. I think it was Tuesday was my birthday. And so it happened on Thursday night or Friday. I don't know. It was like Thursday or Friday. So I'm counting that as a win. As a win on my goal of 5,000. So what's next? I don't know. I mean, last year at this time we were just celebrating like 100 or 200, and now we're at 5,000. So maybe the next goal is 10,000. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. I see some people, they have like 100,000 people. I don't think that's gonna ever happen, but hey, you never know. So thanks, Joyce Ann. Hi, there's my local friend from Peabody, Joyce Ann. Thanks, Eva. Appreciate the birthday greet. I honestly forgot. I forgot that it was my birthday. And, well, you know, I'm getting to the age where it doesn't really much matter. You know, so whatever. I'm not, you know, it would have been nice to have a cake, but the place that we like to go, which is in Andover, called Tripoli's, and actually Diorce's, which is in Peabody, I don't think they're even open. That's what somebody told me. And then Tripoli's in Andover are not making cakes because I don't know. I guess people are not eating cakes because they're not having birthday parties. But I never needed a party to have a cake. Good morning, Penny. I hope you have a great day. I hope you do too. I'm having a little bit of I cannot even complain. Really, I am having a little bit of issues with my chemo in the sense that I had bone pain last night, but then I totally forgot. My friends told me that I'm supposed to take Claritin, and the bone pain happens because they give you this injection to create white blood cells, and the white blood cells generally are made in your large bones like your femur and your leg, and when it's popped into, that's a good sign that you're having the bone pain because it means your white blood cells are growing. So they told me Claritin, which I remembered I had. Marlene, I didn't write down a pattern. Maybe I should. And when I post this video, I will put down the measurements. How's that sound? Because, yeah, so anyway, so Jolene, nice to see you. Thank you for the prayers, everyone. I so appreciate it. I think the prayers, my corgi socks, and what else? A positive attitude, a can-do attitude. I see so many people saying that they've survived this, and so that's just the attitude I'm taking. One of my friends, my old corgi friend, says, it's just not your time, and I believe that. It's not my time. So I'm just going to keep moving along and doing for others as I always do. you and praying for everyone and thinking about you all and trying to do good for my community. So I thank you everyone for your time and attention, and prayer is an important part of that. So I so appreciate that. Thank you. And I hope, I'm good, Andrea. You know, I have this funny story about kale. We have guinea pigs here, and then also I like to eat kale, and I can't find it anywhere. Like I can't go to the grocery store anymore. So my friends are now on the hunt for kale and water flavoring, because you have to drink a ton of water, which I do drink a lot of water, but it gets boring. So those little flavor water things they're looking for. And then I like salty things. Food doesn't taste very good right now. So I am a big salty, like pumpkin seeds, plus they have a lot of vitamins in it. So those are my 3 things that I've been on the hunt for, and I've sent my son into the grocery store looking for them, and 3 times now, and he can't find kale, pumpkin seeds, or water enhancer. It's like they just disappeared off the shelf. So I'm hoping that gets rectified soon, because those are 3 things that I would really like. But other than that, we're good. We're doing well. I hope you all are doing well, and we'll see you again later on today when I do the winners for our April Infusible Ink winners. I've got like 5 more people to pick, and then also it's 5 more people to pick, and then what was the other one? And then the Instagram one that I keep forgetting about. So we're going to do that today, I promise you, once I get done with making a few more masks. Okay, thank you always so much. You can't find tofu, huh? Oh, fruit. You know what, Eva? You know what, just generally speaking, I say kale, but we're having trouble with produce. Like, I'm used to a very high produce, although I do have some pineapple that I recently cut up. So maybe I'll try pineapple water. Sounds kind of actually interesting. But I haven't been able to get strawberries. Romaine lettuce is a favorite of everyone here. So produce has been a little bit hard. So it's mostly been like pasta, rice, beans. I don't know about you guys. Pasta, rice, beans. I can't find chicken, although I have some in the freezer. But like sausage, ground beef, I have had some of that in the freezer. So we're doing a lot of pantry cooking. This week I made, later on today, I'm going to be doing beef empanadas. I don't know if you guys know what those are. They're like little meat pockets that are Mexican or Latin. I'm going to make those later. And then I'm going to make some hummus, because I need to eat more beans for, just to keep things moving, because I don't have all that produce and everything. So yeah, I'll come back with some recipes. I owe you guys the French onion soup recipe, the beef empanada recipe I can give you. And then I made my red beans and rice in the Instant Pot. It turned out fabulous. So from now on, I'm just going to do it in the Instant Pot, because it was so quick and I didn't have a big old pan to clean up, so I've been a little bit afraid of the Instant Pot. So whatever. Okay, so I'm chit-chatty again. I hope you guys do well today. It's a sunny day here in Peabody, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for joining me. And Joyce Ann, I know you said you just sent me a little message saying you hate to ask. If you requested masks and I didn't respond to you, ask me again, okay? Because it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just I got a little overwhelmed and I'm trying to keep my list, but I might have forgotten you. So that's okay. And Texas, yeah. Is it warm in Texas, Eva? Is it? Instant Pot. Andrea, I need help with my Instant Pot, because all I make in there is rice. Although I did try chicken in there. It just, I'm a little bit afraid of it, to be honest. I grew up with a mom that had those on the stove top pressure cookers, and it was scary when I was a kid. So, you know, she would take that thing off and the steam would go everywhere. I felt like it was going to explode. Terrible. So I've been a little leery about doing Instant Pot, but I did do ribs in it last year, and oh my God, they came out so fabulous. But you have to broil them after you cook them because they're not like crispy. They cook all the way through, which is great. Oh yeah. Oh, 90 today, Eva. Get an air fryer lid for it. That comes with the Instant Pot, Andrea? The air fryer lid comes, you can buy one for the Instant Pot. I have an air fryer though. Oh, yeah, I know. Those Instant Pots are really good, and they're a little clunky, but definitely would never do a stovetop pressure cooker. Oh my gosh, I have like nightmares about that from when I was a kid. Seriously, my mother, I think she cooked a turkey in one of ours when we were a kid, and she used to make potatoes, and she'd cook it way too long, and they'd turn into glue. It was so terrible. Oh, my mother was not a very good cook at all. So anyway, whatever. She has other talents. So anyway, thanks so much, everybody, for coming. Have a wonderful morning. We'll see you all again a little later. And enjoy your day. Enjoy your Sunday. And be happy to be alive and well. And, you know, living here and you know, above ground. Because that's, you know, that's all you can ask for. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.